Hi, I'm Raphael Heath, the Head of Geography at the Royal High School Bath, part of the GDST, Girls Day School Trust. And this tutorial I'm going through today is about how to create an elevation web app using ArcGIS Online. Let's start from looking at a map itself. So here's a map I've created. It's got various layers in, tectonic plate boundaries for example here, red being conversion or destructive plate boundaries, blue being diversion or constructive plate boundaries. Here, so I can see where the plates are and where they're moving. I've brought in a layer from ArcGIS Online with world volcanoes in. So I've got their positions here. I can look at their relationship with plate boundaries, and I did a little bit of a heat map creation so that some of the data within the Earth volcanoes layer, I could see where there were greater frequencies of volcanoes, or in this case it was actually volcanic eruptions that have occurred from those volcanoes in the last 2,000 years. And I've even got a layer here with the volcanic explosivity index being shown for the volcanoes that have erupted in the last 2,000 years. So I've got maps here that I've created, I put layers in, but what I perhaps want to do with students is not necessarily get them to look at it using this platform and perhaps use some other tools. So this tool is going to be looking at creating an elevation tool. One of the things I might want to do is get students to look at this map, but then understand the significance of these plate boundaries on landscape shapes and perhaps explore them in a bit more of a investigative, independent way. One of the tools I like to do this is the web apps here. I should just say that you need to save a map before you can share it and then create web apps, so just be aware of that. I've already done that here. I'm just going through the web app part. So once you've saved a map, you can choose who to share it with. You may keep it private for your organisation or share it with everyone here, which makes it much easier to post on the web and for students to be able to get to and so on. And then you've got a couple of options here for embedding and sharing the site and the link. I'm going to go to this one, create a web app. And here you have a series of web apps that you can see that you can build from your map for different functionalities. So I'll do tutorials on different ones separately. So the one I'm going to focus on today at the moment is this elevation profile one. So I'm going to create an elevation profile and I'll give it a name. And you can give it a sensible name, but I'm just giving it a test for the moment. On here you have to put some tags in for searching, doesn't matter too much what you put in, and some text about it. Explain what it's all about and decide where you're saving it. So if you've got several folders, you can save it where you like. So I'm going to put it in my test folder. Okay, so I'm going to put done here. So that's just giving it the name and details, and it's now going to work in the background to actually create a web app based around this particular map data for me. So it's now going to open a configuration part of the web app, which means I can actually control a little bit of the way it's set up and the way it's looking. So it's just loading that now for us. Okay. So this is where it's come up. This is giving me a view of what the web app will look like, how it's set up, and these are giving me some controls over it. The basic principle of this web app is that I can click on the ruler, I can click between locations on the map, and it will pull up an elevation profile in this bottom section here for me. As you can see, it's just done that now, and I can have a look along it. So in this case I can see the effect of the mid-Atlantic ridge here in the central Atlantic Ocean, which corresponds with this blue line of the plate boundary. So it's basically doing what I want at the moment, which is basically fine. There are a few things I can change. So at the moment it's using my title from the map, which I can keep or I can change. I'm just going to call this test elevation app for the moment, but you give it a sensible name. Testing the okay, and you've got choice of how the units are going to describe themselves. At the moment they're in miles, so you can keep that if you wish, or you can go to metric for kilometres, and meter displays. Search settings, not very much I need to play around with here. That just is probably fine at default, but you can have a look at that more if you like when you get to it. The elevation profile, I can ignore that information. background colours you can see is coming as grey at the moment, so you can pick something different. Let's pick something distinctly different so you can see it change, and so on. Text colour, that's black I think. Border colour I'll have as red. Chart sky and chart elevation colour I will keep as that, put yellow there. You can see I've made a few colour changes. I'll just press save just so you can see the effect of that, and the title change as well. So probably not a great colour to pick, but you can see the effect of that. Here it's gone to some greens and so on. Okay. Other options, so title and help tool, yes, I think those are fine. There's no reason to get rid of them. So basically this web app's fine. I don't particularly like that green. Let me pick a pair of yellow, see if it looks any better. And that's it. That's pretty much the way you create it. When you're happy with the way you've laid it out, you press done, and we can then see what that web app will look like in its final state, and share it. So you can see here this is the details of the web app. If you went to my content, and you would be able to find it again, or if you did a search you'd be able to find it again, and it would bring up this under the details page. The share button that's already shared with everyone, but if it wasn't you could change that here. You can change where it's saved and so on, and this configure app gets you back to that last screen where you can actually play around with the look and the colours of it and so on. So if we just open it now for view application, okay. And there it's come up, that's how it's looking, and you can see the effect of this. You can zoom to any parts of the world, and you can say to your students, right, what we're trying to investigate here is we're trying to look at the effects of plate boundaries on the shape of the landscape. Is there anything notable about them? And then trying to explain why they might be like that. So they click on the ruler tools, they start clicking around and investigating the plate boundaries. You double click to finish a path. You don't have to just do 2 dots, you can do a multiple route path in any direction, but I'm just doing 2 for simplicity here. And it produced my elevation profile. I say, oh, there's something interesting's happening. Where's that? Oh, what a surprise. Look, if you look at the cross here, it moves as I'm moving along my cross profile here, long profile, cross section, and you can see that crosses here. So I can see, well, that's interesting, isn't it? Just where that red line is a really significant change in that landscape until it gets to the other side around here in Indonesia. And this is the destructive plate margin, so the plates are crashing together. So what's happening here, one of the plates is going underneath and subducting. I can suggest from looking at this, it's this side that's subducting underneath this side where the Indonesian plate is that's been crumpled up. So I can see, interesting things here. I can get to explore it. I can look at other parts of the world and see if they're similar or different in terms of the nature of the effects of plate boundaries on these locations. So it can very much set up as a kind of initial investigative task. Again, I can see some kind of ridges here around the Indian Ocean here, around the ocean spreading area. I can see around here the Rift Valley area, effects of this plate coming apart as well. In this Rift Valley, here we go, coming through here. So this this crumple zone here around either side of this constructive plate margin in this part of the world of Rift Valley. So it's just an interesting way to get students to look at these plate boundaries, to explore them, and this elevation tool doesn't have to be obviously just used for these plate boundaries. I put on a very sort of dark layer here. You can put it on a different base map, so you've got sort of more information and detail, but you can do very sort of local studies. So you might be doing a piece of field work or a local based study, and you want students to look at the landscape and its shape and so on. Let's try one over here, for example, and this is probably quite flat actually thinking about it, but yeah, okay, we've got some quite detailed information here about the hills coming off here on the Welsh border, coming down onto flat plains here, cross section of London and so on. So this elevation tool is quite a powerful little gadget. You can set it up just with a normal blank map of the world and have a play with it for anywhere, but as you can see here with this earthquake and volcano data, or volcano data in this case, you can see how you can actually create interesting layers for people to actually explore and look at specific information. So that tutorial is an overview of how you've created an elevation web app in ArcGIS Online. As you can see, it's quite a simple and straightforward add-on. Once you've created a map, you've got to make sure that the map and the layers are all saved publicly if you want it to be accessed without logging in, so just be aware of that. But apart from that, it's quite a straightforward and powerful app to create and use with your students in your lessons for a whole range of geographical style investigations. Okay, my name's Raphael Heath, Head of Geography at the Royal High School Bath. I hope you found that tutorial useful on how to use the Elevation web app and create your own ones.